Rick here from Hamilton Sports Central for a top 50 pending free agents for the CFL article written by 3 Down Nation. We're going to go from 50 and up for the upcoming 50 free agents that still need to be re-signed. So, number 50, gotta wet the whistle. So, number 50, we have defensive line Willie Jefferson, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 6-time All CFL is no longer, or CFL selection is no longer one of the top pass rushers. He recorded only 3 sacks in 2025, but he made a league-leading 16 pass knockdowns, which was more than any other player. In the right system, Jefferson is still capable of making a strong impact. So, the question is, he only had 3 sacks in 2025, so he had a down year last year. What type of return would he be if he came back to Winnipeg? Does he have another down year? Does he go back to Willie Jefferson that Winnipeg fans all know about? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Number 49, receiver Tim White. The 31-year-old is coming off his 4th straight 1,000-yard season, during which he's recorded at least 7 touchdowns per catches, 7 touchdown catches per year. The 5'10", 175-pound native of Santa Clara, California, has been plagued by drops at times during his career, though there's no questioning his explosiveness down the field. So, as a Ticat fan, here's how I feel about this. He's had 4 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. And he's gotten 7 touchdowns catches per year. He was also making, if I'm not correct, probably about 100 and... let me see if I can find it. Tim White's contract, 2025. So, reports indicated that he was making 220 to 235. I'm sure with the amount of drops that he had, there's going to be another wide receiver that you can get cheaper for that and use the extra bit of money to upgrade somewhere else of need. So, the only way that I can see Tim White coming back is if he takes a bit of a discount, because the amount of drops and touchdowns that he's done, that he could have had, if he didn't drop the ball as much as he did, he could have had a Kenny Lawler type season. I'm just going to leave it at that. Number 48, offensive line, Stanley Bryant, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The 8-time All-CFL left tackle is no longer the best offensive lineman in the CFL, but he's clearly still has the respect of his peers, as voted as the CFL PA All-Star in 2025. Bryant is the league's oldest active non-kicker. He'll turn 40 in May, but he's still capable of protecting the blind side of whomever's throwing the ball behind him. So, Stanley Bryant, 40 years old. Does he come back for one more season behind and protect Zach Claris in Winnipeg? If he does he go off into the sunset after next season, or does he retire this offseason? We won't know until that time comes. to see if he gets re-signed or not. Number 47, linebacker Isaac Darkangelo, Toronto Argonauts. The 6'1", 230-pound defender was mostly a rotational player for the Argonauts in 2025. But he was also highly productive, recording 60 tackles, 22 special teams tackles, four forced fumbles, and 2 sacks. The 25-year-old also looked comfortable in multiple spots on defense and seemed primed for a larger role. So, with him, I think that was his first season with Toronto. I could honestly see him being back in Toronto next year. It's just a matter of what type of contract would you see for him. Next up, defensive line, Caleb Sanders, Saskatchewan Roughriders. The 6'1", 270-pound native in Greenwood, Iowa, has yet to be a full-time starter in the CFL, but he is highly effective as a rotational player in Saskatchewan, making 11 defensive tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Assuming he wants to be a starter in 2026, Sanders should get that chance, whether it's in Riderville or elsewhere. So, here's the thing, is Sanders seems to be one of those players, and I'm going to use this term in NHL so that people can understand, is usually in the NHL, NBA, sports like that, if you have someone that's not up to snuff, sometimes you could have it where they just need to change their scenery. They go to a different team and they get, that starting position, and they prove you wrong. Maybe that's what Caleb needs, is just a change of scenery, and maybe he'll develop, maybe he won't. Won't know, but we'll see where he ends up in the offseason. Number 45, linebacker Javon Santos Knox. The native of Waterbury, Connecticut, helped lead the defense that was quietly one of the best against the run in 2025, recording 80 defensive tackles and 1 interception. Santos Knox is now an 8-year vet, though he remains a consistent as ever as a run defender and in pass coverage. So, here's another thing, is with Ryan Dinwiddie being the head coach, GM, and offensive coordinator, even though Santos Knox is a defensive player, how well will Ottawa's defense be this year? Santos Knox return now that he's played for the team for a few years, or does he go and sign elsewhere? My guess is that he resigns in Ottawa. But again, free agency is not till February, so we have a long offseason to ponder where he goes. Next one up is Diedrich Metcalf, Calgary. The 6'2", 220-pound defender turned back the clock in 2025, excelling in a Calgary defense that was well tailored to his strengths. Moncrief made 12 tackles for loss, which was twice as many as any other defender in the league, along with 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 1 touchdown. Calgary made some changes on defense with the new defensive coordinator. At one point, they had one of the best defense in the league, and until injuries hit them, they're the most injured defense in the league as far as injuries go. So, Will time turn back again, and will he have another stellar season? He could be one of those. How's the wording? He's gonna be one of those, not really diamond in the roughs, but like bargain bins where you can get him for a decent. Like he's not gonna be like a top paid defender, but you could still get him at a half decent um wage, I would say. Next up is Micah Johnson. Micah Johnson has already said he's only willing to continue his career in Regina, but that shouldn't stop other teams from expressing interest if he's available come February. Johnson was named All CFL for the 5th time in his career in 2025 and has now recorded 71 sacks for over 178 regular season games in the league. Basically, I think Micah Johnson comes back for one more year with Saskatchewan and then calls it quits after that. There's a few people, Father Time's starting to catch up to them. You know, you have the Stanley Bryant in Winnipeg, Micah Johnson and Saskatchewan, Trevor Harris in Saskatchewan. Like there's a few players where their time is coming as far as age-wise, and they're going to be, within the next year, they'll probably, if they don't get signed, I'm sure they'll reconsider their career. But I can see Micah Johnson going back to Saskatchewan and trying to repeat after they just won the Grey Cup this past season. Number 42, Justin Hardy. The native of Washington, North Carolina will turn 34 next season, which could hurt his value in free agency. I highly doubt it will. But he recorded a third straight 1,000-yard season with the Red Blacks and scored a career-high 8 touchdowns in 2025. For a team looking to be a reliable second down target, the three-time All East Division selection would be a perfect addition. So here's the other thing. Do you go, if you're the Ticats, do you let Tim White walk and go inside Justin Hardy because he's a reliable second down target? And you have Justin Hardy, Kenny Lawler, Tim White, and Shamar Bridges when you re-sign him? Time will tell, but I still say that they still signed one key receiver this offseason. Who it is, I have no idea who the Ticats are going to sign. But number 1, Jacob Roberts, Calgary. The 6'1", 233-pound native of Charlotte, North Carolina, had a breakout season at weak side linebacker in his first full season as a starter, making 93 defensive tackles, 9 special teams tackles, 4 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Roberts could get an NFL look this offseason, but if not, it stands to reason he still got room to grow at just 24. So if you're looking for a weak side linebacker and he doesn't return to Calgary, he could be your guy. Number 40, Marc-Antoine Dequoy, the native of Bizard, Quebec, had a bit of a down season in 2025, only recording 1 interception, but he remains a top safety in the league. Dequoy spent most of his career playing for his hometown team, though the Alouettes have a talented defensive back group. Already includes Arthur Hamlin and Nate Boschman. So it would not surprise me if you have Dequoy return as starter safety for the Alouettes. Next up, Isaiah Wood Sr. The 25-year-old missed part of the season due to an injury, but was still an impact on special teams, averaging 26.3 on 42 kickoffs for 15.0 yards on 38 punt returns, and scoring 3 return touchdowns. The native of San Diego, California, could get a look this offseason, but could be an impact player in 2026 if not. So here's the thing. So, the way that the rules work for the NFL and the CFL is you could go get a look at the NFL in the offseason, but the NFLs can only sign you between January and February 10th. If they don't sign you by February 10th, then you're a free agent. You can sign anywhere in the CFL, unless the team holds your rights. As far as I Wooden Sr. goes, I'm pretty sure he is back with Hamilton next season as the main returner for Hamilton. I do not think he gets a look in the NFL. If anyone will get a look in the NFL, it would be Vadville from Winnipeg before Azai Wynn does. Azai Wynn would be a second. But the thing is, if you look at these players that go to the NFL, not everyone gets to stay in the NFL. And it's just a matter of just off of one season. Could you see him go into the NFL? Maybe if he had a couple of years development, but I honestly see him back with Hamilton next season. Dietrich Nichols, DB, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's been a few years since Nichols earned an All-CFL selection, but he's still one of the best boundary halfbacks in the league at the age of 31. The native of Miami, Florida, has only made 7 interceptions over 5 seasons, though that's partially because opposing offenses rarely throw the ball his way. With the Winnipeg defense, I could honestly see Nichols back in the secondary for Winnipeg next season. So that is a re-sign for Winnipeg for me. Number 37, AJ Ouellette. The 30-year-old proved he's still a top ball carrier in the CFL, rushing for a career high 1,222 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2025. The 5'8", 210-pound native of Covington, Ohio, remained effective in the postseason, rushing for 196 yards and 1 touchdown over 2 games to help Saskatchewan win the 112th Grey Cup. Yeah, I don't see AJ Ouellette signing anywhere but Saskatchewan, so we can just easily pencil that as a re-sign for Saskatchewan. Next, Destin Talbert, DB, Hamilton. The native of Darren, Illinois, recorded 55 defensive tackles, 3 special teams tackles, and 3 interceptions with the Ticats, starting all 18 regular season games at boundary halfback, which is arguably the most important position in the secondary. Coming off a rookie contract, Talbot is due for a sizable raise in his next deal. So, if he's coming off a rookie contract, which is anywhere from 70 to 75,000 Canadian, it would all depend on what do you see as a sizable raise? Do you see it 80,000, 85,000, 90,000? I don't see him going more than 90,000. That's just me. Cause he ain't worth no 100,000. Maybe 95 with incentives. But again, yet I'm not a GM, so that's honestly what I would give him. Number 35, Cody Fajardo, Edmonton Elks quarterback. The 33-year-old native of Brea, California, hasn't committed to playing again in 2026, though. The Elks have made it clear that they want him back as their starting quarterback. Fajardo doesn't have the CFL's best deep ball, but he makes good decisions, throw with accuracy, leading effectively, and rarely, if ever, misses games due to injury. So here's the thing. if you bring Cody Fajardo back in Edmonton, what do you do with Trey Ford? Because you got to remember, last year you signed him to a 3-year extension. It was him and McLeod Bethel Thompson last year. He had chance with, I think, 3 games this year, and he couldn't. 3 or 4 games this year, he couldn't get it done. Cody Fajardo almost got them in the playoffs. So, again, is Trey Ford ever going to be a starter in the league, or is he going to be one that needs a change of scenery too? Number 34, Evan Holmes, the 5'11", 188-pound native of Andina, Minnesota, is coming off his best season, having made 55 defensive tackles, 6 special teams tackles, 4 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles, and being named All CFL. Holmes is already among the league's highest paid defensive backs, but one could arguably he deserves to be paid more. That I don't know. Like, there's so many defensive backs that I could say. He's not getting paid more than Stavros. After the season that Peters had last year, he ain't getting paid more than Peters. I'm just trying to think. Milligan Jr. for Saskatchewan, he's not getting paid higher than him. Calgary, I don't know who's in their secondary. Or Edmonton. Ottawa, no one in their secondary jumps up. Toronto. I'm just trying to picture. I would say probably a top 5, top 6, highest paid DB is what you classify them as among the league's highest paid DBs. I don't see him being the top one. There's no way he's making more money than Stavros. Number 33, but I do see him re-signing in Winnipeg though. Receiver Keyshawn Johnson, Saskatchewan Roughriders. The former NFL pick had his first 1,000-yard season as he made 86 catches for 1,159 yards, 4 touchdowns in Riderville. Johnson was named All CFL for the first time in his career, though he had a little bit of a late career breakout. He turned 29 in October. He should still be a highly coveted player if he makes it to the open market. So here's the thing. So you have Keandre Schaefer-Baker. You have Shane Barnes. You have Mayers. You also have a Joe. So, and then you have up-and-coming receivers too. So where do you see him on a full receiver group? The only way that I see Regina keeping him, they won't put him on a practice squad because someone will nibble him up. The only way that I see him staying in Regina is if you can hide him on the 1-game IR list. And that's just going to be wasting. That's just wasting money with him sitting on the 1 game. So we'll see what Regina does with that. Number 32, Julian Hauser. The 6'3", 255-pound defender was named All CFL for the first time after recording 13 sacks this year, almost double his previous career high, though teams might wonder if 2025 was anomaly. Edge rushers are hard to find, and Hauser is arguably the best in the league in 2025, winning most outstanding defensive player in the East. I do see Julian Hauser always had a successful, good careers in Hamilton, especially with 13 sacks this year. Me inside, I do see Julian Hauser coming back as part of the defensive line this year. Hopefully we can get a better defensive line, but I do see him back in Hamilton. Number 31, offensive line, Dejon Allen, BC Lions. The native of Compton, California, played only 5 regular seasons games due to injury this year, but remained one of the CFL's best offensive tackles. Allen won the most offensive lineman award in 2023 while playing for the Toronto Argonauts, and is a 2-time All CFL selection at right tackle. Considering that he was one of the highest paid BC Lions players, I'm curious if he takes a little bit of a pay cut to stay with BC. Because we have in Hamilton, we have Revenberg and Coulter Woodmansey. And we have Braden Bordner. Bordner's right tackle. Oh, come on, think. I'm in an off-season slump. Oh, I gotta look at my sheet. It's been a lot. It's been quite the off-season. Oh, Dobson was the other one. So Dobson's already signed. Revenberg will play left guard. So, I mean, Bordner and Barrow are proving themselves as good tackles in the league. So I see Dejon Allen staying in the West. Would be my guess. Next up, number 30, Jake Serezna. The 2-time All-CFL selection is coming off a down year, during which he was plagued by a knee injury. Though Serezna has consistently proven that he can be a top defensive tackle in the CFL, the 31-year-old needs a chance to get healthy and show he's still an elite defender, and he should be able to get that opportunity based on the strength of his resume. So, before he went to Edmonton, because he got the pay raise in Edmonton after his strong season in Toronto. But with his down season in Edmonton, I don't see him getting... he'll get paid, just not as high as he did in Edmonton. Does he go back to Edmonton? Who knows? Does he go back to Toronto? Again. Serezna is one of those players where he could go to any team. He's that good of an elite defender. If it's anything to be shown in Hamilton, look at Kenny Lawler. Kenny Lawler, this past season, had his first healthy season in his full career. So, just putting it out there. If you want to stay healthy, Hamilton has a good what is it? Gotta think of it. medical team. So, just throwing that out there. You never know what happens in the future with Hamilton. We might have just gotten lucky this past year. You don't know. Number 29. Clarence Hicks, Calgary. The 26-year-old had a breakout season, earning an All-West Division selection after recording 28 defensive tackles, 12 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Hicks earned the second highest pass rush game amongst defensive ends in the CFL from PFF, which should result in a steep raise for 2026. I could honestly see Hicks going back to Calgary. I don't see Calgary letting someone that good go. Now, could he have just had a one-off season? He might have. You'll never know until, you know. But they say that he should get a steep raise. Now, what's that raise? I don't know what he was making this year, so I don't know what type of raise that's going to be. James Butler, BC Lions. The 30-year-old ball carrier had a bounce-back season in 2025, setting in a new career high with 1,213 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. BC head coach Buck Pierce likes to run the ball, and Butler fits the team's scheme perfectly, as he's also an accomplished receiver out of the backfield. I honestly, my 2 cents says he goes back to BC. He's always had, he had the 2-year career in Hamilton. He had an up year, he had a down year, but he's always done well in BC, so I could see him going back to BC with Buck Pierce's run playbook scheme fit. Number 27, receiver Keon Schaefer-Baker, Saskatchewan. The native of Mississauga, Ontario, has had trouble staying healthy the past few years, but he's consistently produced when on the field, and a rare combination of size and athleticism. Given how many talented pending free agents the Roughriders have in the receiving group, it seems fair to question if Schaefer-Baker will move on this winter. So here's the thing, is if you have 2 injured seasons like Keon Schaefer-Baker has, do you, obviously you don't want to lowball it as in a slap in the face, but lowball it as 80 to 90, 95 kind of lowball, because you don't want to pay him 6 figures if he can't stay healthy. That's just a waste of money. So do a 1 year 80 to 90, 95,000 with incentives, however you want to word it, and see if he can have a bounce back year. If he has a bounce back year, okay, sign him to a bigger deal next year. I just don't see him getting a 6-figure deal, especially with Saskatchewan's with them just winning. Players will want to raise. Obviously, you got to pay AJ a lot. There's key players in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan has 45 free agents, so people will want money. I don't see them bringing back all 45 of them. Some of them will have to move on. Is Keon Schaefer-Baker one of them? Again, we never know. 26, DB Jamal Peters, Hamilton Ticats. The 28-year-old All-CFL honors for the second time in 2025 after making 50 defensive tackles, tying his previous career high with 6 interceptions. The 6'2", 220-pound native of Bassfield, Mississippi, has a rare frame for a CFL defensive back and uses it to his advantage in the pass coverage. So, he is one player from this past team that I see, my personal opinion, I see them signing him to a 2 or 3 year deal. His talent, you cannot replace in the secondary. That's just my opinion. Number 25, DB, Retta Crumdy, Winnipeg. The University of Montreal product is a ratio breaker at strong side linebacker, though he is also capable of playing safety and filling in at key roles on special teams. Cramdy is consistently praised by his teammates and coaches as essentially an extra coach on the field, given how much film study he's done dating back to his time in youth sports. So, I don't see him. I don't see him leaving from Winnipeg. I see him resigning in Winnipeg. What that dollar value is, you don't know. You'll just have to wait and see if he walks or if he resigns. Number 24, DB CJ Rivas. The soon-to-be 30-year-old excelled at strong side linebacker, safety this year, making 61 defensive tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. Rivas has a nice combination of athleticism, physicality, and cover skills, which is what allows him to be so versatile in Corey Mace's defense. CJ Rivas, I do see back with Saskatchewan next season. Pierre Oliveira Lestage, offensive line, Montreal. The native of Saint Eustache, Quebec, was PFF's second graded starting guard in the CFL and earned a league best run block of 74.66. Lestage was named All CFL division this year and is firmly in his prime at the age of 28. It is tough along with another team. It will be tough along with another team to pry him from his hometown, but Lestage will be in high demand if he reaches open market. He will not reach open market, is my honest opinion. He will be back with Montreal next season. Number 22, DB Adarius Pickett. The UCLA is not only one of the CFL's best strong side linebackers, but also one of the best covered players on special teams, making 98 total tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception in 2025. Pickett also named All East Division for 3 straight seasons and only just turned 29. So, just hear me out for this. This would be interesting for Hamilton. I know it won't happen, but it would be interesting. So, you have Stavros at safety. You bring Amos back at halfback. Peters at corner on the other side. You move Stubblefield to either the left halfback or the right corner position. Pickett comes in at Sam linebacker to help develop the linebacker core. The youth that Hamilton has in Devin Verisak, Ryan Baker, etc. That would be ideal, but I mean, who's to say that? I mean, in my dream world, that would be amazing. Who's to say it would happen, though? Never know. Number 21, defensive line, Mike Rose, Saskatchewan. The 33-year-old made 17 defensive tackles, 6 sacks, 1 forced fumble in his first season with Saskatchewan, though he narrowly missed out on being named All-West Division for the 5th straight year. Rose is as good as any interior pass rusher in the CFL and should have plenty of suitors if he hits the open market again this offseason. So, who knows? He might sign back with Saskatchewan. We'll have to wait and see what Saskatchewan does as far as money and what they have for the open markets. He could go back to. He could go to someone else. Who knows? Offensive line, Coulter Woodmansey. The native of Toronto was PFF's top-graded center, where he anchored arguably the league's best offensive line. Woodmansey was road grader in the run game, but he can also play guard, and he's entering his prime at the age of 28. If he hits the open market, he'll likely become one of the top 5 highest paid offensive linemen. Woodmansey is not hitting the open market. He will get paid, and he'll be back with Brendan Revenberg and Liam Dobson to create the interior of the Ticats offensive line next year. Unless there's a better center out there, I don't see Woodmansey leaving Hamilton. Number 19, Dante Myers, Saskatchewan, wide receiver. The 25-year-old caught 65 passes for 1,056 yards, 8 touchdowns this season, to earn himself an All-West Division selection. Myers is a deep threat, proven a deep threat, though he can also make opposing defenders miss to produce yards after the catch. If he doesn't get an NFL opportunity, Myers should secure a some ransom in the CFL. This is what I mean. So you obviously have your top caliber players, the ones that get like your AJ Ouellette, your Trevor Harris, all your key receivers, all your key players. The thing is, Saskatchewan knows what they have with Myers. Myers, I'm pretty sure, was either on a rookie contract or just within like 80 or 90,000 this year. With his talent, I could see him probably pushing 90 to 95, maybe even like the low 100,000, like 105, 109-ish. But the thing is, he knows if he goes to the open market, he can collect bank and get that handsome raise. It's just a matter of, is Saskatchewan gonna pay him the money that he's due, or are they gonna let him walk and keep one of someone else? I could honestly see, like, you won't be able to keep Shane Bain Jr., Keon Schaefer-Baker, Myers, and Johnson. One of those three are gone this offseason. Which one it is, we won't know until we see the actual list come out in February. But one of them will be gone this year. Number 18 receiver Nick Dembski, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The native of Winnipeg was named All-West Division for the 5th straight year after recording his third straight 1,000-yard season. Dembski will turn 32 in December. But has proven that he still take the top off opposing defenses. He also has a nose for the end zone, scoring 29 touchdowns over the last 4 years. So, because Dembski's Winnipeg's top receiver, I do see him back with with Winnipeg next year. I don't see him leaving Winnipeg. Dedrick Mills, running back, Calgary. The 5'10", 238-pound carrier won CFL's rushing title for 2025 for 1,409 yards, 11 touchdowns, and catching 33 passes for 292 yards. Though his passing block isn't elite, Mills remains one of the most consistent runners and has now proven he can stay healthy for a season. I don't see him leaving Calgary. Not one bit. Brendan Revenberg, he's not 60. The 32-year-old is as consistent as any blocker in the CFL, earning his 4th East Division nomination for Most Outstanding Offensive Lineman in 2025. The 5-time All-CFL selection and 6-time All-East CFL selection is a perennial standout and allowed a league best 2.4% pressure rate amongst guards, according to PFF. So I'm going to say the same thing that I said for Colter Woodmansey. I do not see Brendan Revenberg leaving Hamilton. He'll be back as a blocker and playing on the offensive line for Hamilton next season. He's played for us his whole career. I can't see him leaving Hamilton. Malik Carney, defensive line, Saskatchewan Roughriders. The 6'3", 2000, Jesus, that'd be heavy. 230-pound defender made an all-career high sacks this season, his 5th in the CFL, to help Saskatchewan win the Grey Cup. Though he didn't have much statistic production as some of his counterparts, Carney consistently beats blockers and flushes the opposing quarterback on film. I don't see him leaving Saskatchewan. I think he'll be one of the ones that stays and runs it back, not as a Grey Cup champion, but runs it back with Saskatchewan for next season as part of their defensive line. Defense line, Jonah Tavi, BC Lions. The native of Inglewood, California, had made 26 defensive tackles, 5 sacks from his spot along the interior of BC Lions' defensive line. Though he's proven he can rush the passer off the edge, Tavani doesn't have much typical frame of a 5'10", 283-pound, but he's proven he can disrupt opposing offenses at the age of 24. Does he come back to BC? I don't know what their plans are, to be honest. Stavros Kachatonis, 29-year-old, received his first all-CFL selection after making a career-high 6 interceptions in 2025. The former fourth-round pick of the University of British Columbia is the league's 10th highest-paid defensive back and stands to reason he's due for a raise after a standout season in Steelham. If I'm Hamilton, one of the top players that I'm signing, first one, it doesn't matter which order it is in, if it's Peters first and Stavros, or Stavros and Peters, I don't care who it is, but you're re-signing both these people, as I don't see Stavros leaving Hamilton. Winton McManus, number 12, the 6'2", 230-pound defender played through injury for much of 2025, but was still high productive, recording 62 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. The 2-time All-CFL is an impact as any linebacker in the league, combining leadership with elite playmaking abilities. So, I'm just trying to think. I think, I could be wrong. I think he's like 36, 37, so I wouldn't pay him like $230-ish. Like, I still pay him 6 figures. I don't know if you go as high as $230. Because, I mean, he spent most of last season injured. So, I mean, you still pay him for what he's worth, just not as high. Because I would have like, he's still good for leadership and with elite playmaking abilities. I'm just thinking with Toronto's defense and linebackers, I would want to sign him to a reasonable deal, but also have some of that money. Because you got to remember, Chad Kelly is going to be, I think, the second highest paid or the first highest paid quarterback this upcoming season. So that's going to be interesting to see. Because now that Chad Kelly will have a full offseason to get back to the form, and if he plays next season, that money will count towards the cap. Not like this last season where it did not count towards the cap. So that will be interesting to see what they do with Winton McManus, if they bring him back or if he moves on. Number 11, DB Tevon Campbell, Saskatchewan Roughriders. The 32-year-old Scarborough native didn't skip a beat this season, following his 6-year foray in the NFL, notching 6 interceptions over 13 starts to earn all CFL honors. Campbell is a ratio breaking at corner, though he is already one of the highest paid defensive backs. It stands to reason he could earn even more money in 2026. Again, it's the thing is, as soon as you win a Grey Cup, people want their bags, and if they're not signed to a longer deal, you're gonna have to pay the piper and cough up that dough. Number 10, linebacker A.J. Allen. Saskatchewan Roughriders. The native of Burlington, Ontario, was a standout in his first season as starter and made an instant classic game-saving tackle in the dying minutes of the West Final. Allen wasn't shy about his breakout years, suggesting that 3 down erred in living him off of its all-star list, and it's proven ratio breaking at 27. Clearly, the man deserves a raise. Again, he's one of those players that will get a raise. It's just, with that raise, what's that going to leave the rest of the team as far as money goes? Tyson Philpott, receiver, Montreal Alouettes. The 25-year-old has yet to record his first 1,000-yard season, but that's only due to injuries, which has limited him to 21 regular seasons over the last 2 years. Philpott has averaged 75.4 yards and 0.48 touchdowns per game over that time frame, and was Montreal's top receiver in the Grey Cup, making 5 catches on 87 yards. So, here's the thing with Tyson Philpott is, Tyson Philpott wants to come back to Montreal. The only thing is with Tyson Philpott is Tyson Philpott wants to be paid as a top receiver. Do I see him getting paid $100,000? Sure. Do I see him getting paid $230,000? That I don't know, because he hasn't played a full season yet. He's only played 21 games in over 2 years. Like, I want to see a full season of what you can do. So, again, probably low 100,000-ish. I don't know what they're going to ask, but I'm curious to see what he'd get on the open market, that's for sure. Number 8, offensive line, Gerald Broxton. Gerald Broxton, BC Lions. The Baylor University product was named All CFL after allowing the best pressure rate in the league amongst offensive tackles, 2.4, over 607 pass block snaps in 2025 per PFF. CFL teams are struggling to find elite edge blockers, and Broxton is playing dominant football at left tackle at the age of 32. Yeah, I don't see him leaving BC Lions. BC Lions will resign him at any means necessary. Number 7, receiver, Samuel Emilus. I honestly forgot about Samuel Emilus when I was talking about all the Saskatchewan receivers. The 28-year-old of Montreal, Quebec, was named the Grey Cup's MVP after making 10 carries for 108 yards, finishing only 2 receptions shy of the all-time record. Emilus failed to record a third 1,000-yard season due to injury, but averaged a whopping 84.0 yards per game in which he played. So, you have Emilus. You have Keon Shaver-Baker, Bain Jr., Myers, Keyshawn Johnson. Those 5 receivers, you're not keeping all 5. I'm telling you that right now. You may lose 1 or 2, but you're not keeping all 5. Because they will want a pay raise, and you have to budget who you want, who you don't want back, and So I could see one or two receivers from Saskatchewan moving on, because you'll have people like Daniel Webb and other people on the lower ends of salary making a Joe. There's another one that could be making his a more of an impact in next season. Uh, Jamarcus Hardrick, aka Yoshi, Saskatchewan Roughriders, the 6'4", 315-pound blocker, was named the CFL most outstanding offensive lineman for the first time in his 11-year career, and was PFF's top-ranked offensive tackle with a year-long grade of 84.4. Hardrick will turn 36 in May, but as yet to show any signs of slowing down, playing elite football at one of the game's most important positions. So, I'm going to bring up what I said about Stanley Bryant with Yoshi Hardrick is they'll have like one, maybe 2 seasons left, and then they'll call it a career. Like, I don't see them playing past 2 years. But it will be interesting to see if Saskatchewan brings him back, or if he goes to free agency, he'll be a top lineman sign. If he doesn't, then Calgary's or Saskatchewan's done their job re-signing him. Next one, number 5, Trevor Harris, the 6'2", 212 pass. Cemented his legacy after leading the Roughriders to a Grey Cup victory. Had a strong season overall, throwing for 4,549 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Harris hasn't committed to playing next year and will turn 40 in May, and is still a consensus top 4 quarterback in all of CFL. Number 4. Keon Hatcher, receiver, BC Lions. The 31 native of Tulsa, Oklahoma, led the CFL with 102 catches for 1,688 yards and 9 touchdowns to earn himself an all CFL honors for the second time in his 5-year career. Hatcher believes he played on a team-friendly deal in recent years and has made it clear that he wants to get paid this time around. So, regardless if Keon Hatcher goes to BC or somewhere else, I guarantee he's making at least 200 bands. 200 bags of hard-earned cash. He's probably going to be one of the top paid receivers in this offseason. Regardless if he's re-signed or free agent. I don't see any free agent getting paid higher than him this offseason. Number 3, defensive line, Jalen Hutchins, Calgary. Defensive line, the 25-year-old was virtually unblockable in his first year as a CFL starter, making 39 defensive tackles, 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble from the interior of Calgary's defensive line. Though it seems likely that the Hutchinson will get a shot in 2026, he arguably deserves to be the highest paid defensive player in the CFL if he stays north. That'll be up to Calgary and what they decide to do. Ooh, number 2 is not who I thought it was. It's Brady Oliveira, running back, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The native of Winnipeg, Manitoba, had another brilliant season with his hometown team, quietly leading the CFL in yards per carry, minimum of 50 attempts, setting an all-career high in receiving yards with 61 catches for 546 yards. Oliveira wants to sign back with Blue Bombers, but he'll only do so if he believes he can win a championship and the money makes sense. So, the only way that he signs with Winnipeg, I'm not saying he won't, the only way that he will is Winnipeg has to make some huge changes to their roster this offseason. I don't care what anyone says. If you're going with the same roster, he ain't coming back. 2, Hogan, if Jason Hogan is back as OC, he's not coming back. The only other way that he'll come back is if they change an offense coordinator and they start using him more. If they don't use him, he ain't coming back. And number 1, who I thought was going to be number 2, Bo Levi Mitchell, Hamilton Ticats, the 2-time Grey Cup MVP, received his 2nd straight East Division MLP nomination and did so after setting a new career high with 36 passing touchdowns. Mitchell also did a better job of protecting the ball this year, throwing for 7 fewer interceptions as he did in 2024. He will turn 36 in March, but also appears to have lots of football left in him. So, here's the thing with Bo, is he won't sign with anyone else but Hamilton, so there's that. So he'll be back with Hamilton. The question is, A, how long of a term that he gets with Hamilton? And B, this will be his last contract that he signs. If he does not come back, because he hasn't decided if he's coming back or not, if he does not come back, it would not surprise to see the Ticats go with Taylor Powell as starter and then go out and sign one of these 1A, 1B veteran quarterbacks that are out there. And hopefully they bring back Jake Dolegala too, because he was a good third-line short yardage quarterback. But with that being said, that is that's not my top 30. That's 3 Down Nation's top 30 free agent list. It's on their website, so if you want to go give it a little look, you're more than welcome to. Don't forget, Free Agent Day, we will be doing a live stream for the coverage. We're going to be doing 8 to 8 again, possibly 8 to 9, depending on how things go. But with that being said, I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. Don't forget to check out the other content on the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. This is Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, and have yourself a great rest of your day.